Hey everyone, Ken Hirschmann, team leader of Best Life and Company. I'm sitting here with Nick Harris. Nick, what's going on, my brother?
Having fun.
Nick just joined our team and wanted to sit down and chat with you and just talk about, why you decided Best Life and some of your goals for this year. Cool?
Yeah, awesome.
Cool. Let's start it off. Ultimately, what led you to thinking that Best Life aligned with what you're trying to do?
I think a big reason of that was because that conversation was never a, hey, Nick, come join. It was, hey, Nick, what can I do for you? And also, like, what are you doing that's working? How can I also supplement or add in little tips and tricks to help you grow where you're at? That was a huge piece for me because it showed the intent of wanting to help me prior to reaching out to have me join.
Right.
So that spoke a lot about you and about the team. And so after we had that sit down for lunch to have you pitch me on Best Life, after meeting you in person and having those conversations and then just thinking through it for some time, I mean, it really felt like a no-brainer after a while of the growth opportunity. A couple of the big things that I'm looking to do is lower my transaction counter units, but increase my price per transaction and volume in that way. And so that was a big piece of that as well. Just knowing what Best Life has to offer with systems and processes in place to help me grow my own sphere of influence in my own business outside of what I've been doing.
I want you to say it because when I tell people, they don't believe me. So walk through the units and volume that you did last year.
Yeah, so in 2023, total of 116 units for 16.2 million in volume.
116 units. Okay, great. And I think the previous record set by our very own Dave Thomas, we're sitting here in his office, was 80 units. So 116. So I think the one question that everyone's asking is how in the hell do you do 116 units? What does a day to day and week to week look like for a top producer like you?
Yeah, so it's a lot of systems and processes. So everything, I mean, I have a lot to say about, like, anytime I do one thing, I know I'm probably going to do it again. And so I make record of it, or I'll create a spreadsheet or a document so that everything's pretty streamlined. In my phone, I have notes for any topic that you could potentially think of, so that if I get a question or a topic, I'm copy, paste, send it out, and then just matching it. So, like, even from the systems and processes with communication, but then past that, it's just the day-to-day knowing that I'm in this to work and I enjoy that part of it. So, like, I don't shy away from working a full day and what's considered to be a full day. That's changed a little bit since daughter in play now, but yeah, so it's just been grinding away and I enjoy the work of it.
Yeah. So in terms of like leverage, right? Because you can't do 116 units yourself. I mean, what does your team look like when you're doing 116 units? Do you have showing agents? Do you have transaction coordinators? What did it look like last year doing that?
Yeah, so I was on everything transaction related as the primary agent. So I was the buyer's agent, I was the listing agent on all of my transactions. We had showing agent, not a team specified showing agent. My brother actually got newly licensed last year. And so for about 6 to 8 months, I really relied on him for showings, inspections, any miscellaneous tasks, lock boxes, signs, things like that. So he took on the showing agent role. And if I had not done that, would have been impossible.
It doesn't feel like there's enough hours in the day
impossible.
or week for that, right?
Yeah.
How do you maintain kind of the level of detail and customer service and follow through when you're managing 10, 15, 20 deals at a time?
Calendar. I live and breathe by my calendar. So like if it's in it, I'm doing it. If it's not in it, I forget about it. I have no idea what's going on. So I live and breathe by that calendar, and I time block in no more than about, unless I'm doing my prospecting hours, which are bigger chunks, like if I'm doing a follow-up, I'm putting it in my calendar for 5 minutes or for 10 minutes just so that it's there and I can see it. The calendar has been huge for me. And then I color coordinate my entire calendar. Blue is meetings, and then outside of that, green is going to be income producing opportunity. Yellow is getting me
because
slightly
money's
to,
green, obviously.
Right,
Income producing, love that. Yeah.
So green is income producing, it's the prospecting, it's the closings, it's the showings, things that could potentially bring about more paychecks. Yellow is going to be kind of the in-between of whether it's communication with transaction coordinator or follow-up with clients. It's things that need to be done that are kind of in between. And then my red are going to be things that I know are not getting me to where I need to be. And I even put lunch in red. So like if I take a 30-minute break for lunch, it's in red because that's not producing anything unless I'm meeting somebody for lunch.
So you're in a bad mood when you're eating.
Because
it's
eating it.
Color coordinator, right?
Yeah.
That's
and then
hilarious.
purple is personal. Workouts, time with family.
Nice. Did Mary choose that color or no?
No, that was me.
Nice. When you talk, I know when we were having a lot of our conversations about you joining Best Life, and I mean, obviously, most people would think he's doing 100 deals. Why does he need a team? I know a word that kept coming up a lot with you and I was growth, right? Can you talk a little bit about like some of your growth goals and why you chose Best Life and how growth works into your decision to join us? business?
Yeah, touching on the team aspect first. So I grew up playing sports, always been a sports guy and an athlete, have always been a leader on every team that I've been, whether it's classified as a captain or whatever the case may be. But the team atmosphere is something that really drew me to Best Life. I'm not one to necessarily start something on my own. I like to be around other individuals who are exceeding at a high level, or at least going towards one particular goal together. So that's the team aspect of it. And then, yeah, the growth opportunity is something that's been huge for me. I mean, just as simple as with EXP having revenue share and just having
Which you're working on already.
Yeah.
Week 1. Love that.
Yeah. So it's just the potential growth, not only the increasing the price point, revenue share, just multiple streams of income with the opportunity of mentoring, coaching, training other agents that come in as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what are some of your non-sales goals in the next year or two with Best Life?
Yeah, so I definitely want to utilize the revenue share and being able to bring other agents on as a sponsor. So the recruitment piece of that. And then also to help, whether new or been in the industry for a little while, but not doing what they want to do, be able to help coach and mentor and bring value to other agents that are already on the team or might be coming in.
And you've done that in the past, right? Didn't you mentor coach agents previously too?
Yep. So very similar coaching, bringing in, helping the newer agents, understanding the day-to-day. And for me, it's always been more tactful coaching. It wasn't the how to write a purchase agreement, how to write an addendum. It was more so the sales training,
Sales
the conversation.
strategy, negotiation,
Correct.
the fun stuff.
Yep.
How do you, one of the hardest things is when people choose real estate, so I'm going to get to how you chose real estate, but when people choose real estate, they feel like they have a ton of freedom and flexibility. So it's really a lot of self-discipline and self-accountability. Even on a team, we let you run your business a lot of the hour by hour, day to day and week to week, how you want to do it. How do you maintain that level of accountability or discipline within yourself?
Yeah, I think a lot of it stems back to my athletic background and having to go to practice, having to do the workouts, having to on a regimented schedule, having to do all those things. But I honestly can look back throughout my entire life and see that I've been very disciplined to whatever I was doing. Like whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to find a way to do it. And so that's always kind of been just in my nature and in my character. But again, it just comes down to, I think, the schedule of knowing what I need to do. And if I have a game plan in front of me, then I attack it. I think first was just coming to an understanding of what works, what do I need to do? And then if that game plan is written out, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. What would you say to an agent who's currently not on a team as to why they, not should they join a team, but why they might want to consider joining a team based on today's market or just in general?
Joining a team does a handful of things, but I think the biggest thing is, again, it puts you around like-minded individuals who have the same goal, who you can bounce ideas around what's working, what's not working, what conversations are you having, what scripts are working from a sales perspective, what's working with clients, how are you getting offers accepted if you don't have anybody else to go to or just have conversations with. And then the other piece of that, I think, is the more you're around people and the more that you see sales numbers, that dramatically, at least for me being competitive, it's like, okay, I see what so-and-so is doing. How can I get there and be better?
Yeah. A lot of people that I've talked to, they're interested in real estate. They're not in it right now. They're doing a 9-to-5 or in corporate America or doing something else. What's your background? How did you get into real estate? What did you do before? And what would you tell someone who's considering real estate as a new career?
Yeah, so I did not start in real estate. I got my degree in health and exercise science. So I was a personal trainer for a while, but I've always been intrigued by real estate, more so on the investing side. So since high school, I was doing my own self-educating, YouTube University, just looking into financial freedom through real estate investing. So real estate was always, I knew I wanted to invest. I never really thought about being an agent. Transitioning out of being a personal trainer, I started working for a mortgage lender that got my career started in real estate, and it was getting me there.
I forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you do there?
I was an account executive, so I worked business to business directly with loan officers and brokers. So I wasn't on the end buyer or seller. I had no communication with the actual individual who was doing the buying or selling. It was just all broker or loan officer. Quickly got promoted there, but got sent home because somebody in my team was sick. We got sent home. I was like, okay, I'm going to start studying. Studied for the license, took 3-4 days. The following week, took the test, got in, went back right away. I was like, okay, I'm done here. I want to get into real estate full time.
Nice. Let's talk investments and wealth building a little bit. One of the things we talk about at Best Life is, our mission is to live our best life so we can help whoever we connect with live theirs, right? So for me, living our best life deals with investments and wealth building and becoming financially free and using real estate as an avenue for that wealth building. So tell me about your portfolio, how you got into investments and wealth building, and what your ultimate goal is with that.
Self-education to start, just learning what I could, YouTube, podcast, books. My wife, now who was my fiance at the time, we turned our first home into a rental. It just made sense to do so. It wasn't any more additional money out of pocket. We just turned what we were living in into a rental, and we purchased our new home.
So did someone tell you to do that, or it was from the podcast?
Yeah, just from the self-education.
Self-education.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So we did some renovations to it. We did what's called a live-in flip. So we lived there for a little over 2 years. And then instead of selling, we put a tenant in it. That's still property that's in our portfolio now. It's our best producing. That one cash flow is about $900.
First house you buy usually is. It's funny, you know.
And it just so happened to be also at like a 2.25 interest rate.
Can't beat it.
So
Yeah.
So it made it huge. So that was the first property. Everything since there has been an actual acquisition to where we went out and purchased the property. And our strategy so far has been either turnkey or light cosmetic updates or light sweat equity, where you put in a little bit of work, flooring, paint, appliances, maybe new countertops, backsplash, just surface level, make it look nice, and then quickly put a tenant in. So we're up to, right now our portfolio is 10 rental properties, and we have our primary home as the 11th property that we have. A couple of them are Section 8 tenant occupied. Most of them are non-Section 8 rentals, all long-term.
Now, do you have mortgages on these? Do you own them free and clear? What's like the makeup there?
Yeah, all of them, we leveraged all of them. So we have mortgages on every single one. I think the lowest that we've put down is 15%, but the average of what we're doing is 20% down.
What's your target? Is it a cash flow target? Is it a IRR target? Cash on cash? What do you look at?
It's more of a cash flow target. If we can meet and slightly exceed all of our normal day-to-day expenses to feel comfortable about, okay, all of these investments are paying for our current mortgage and all of our day-to-day expenses, and then a little bit to help us do the things that we want to do, travel, go out to eat, simple things. That's the goal. It's like, how can we get there as quickly as possible to where the rental income completely covers everything that we have as an expense and that we want to do.
Makes sense. All right, so last year you did 116 units for 16 million?
Yep.
Right? What's your goal this year? Units in volume?
Units goal is to go down. I would like to see the units goal or the unit number go down. Just inevitably that will mean that my price point goes up. Unit count, I would like to be somewhere around 70 to 80, knowing that I'm still going to be working pretty heavily with investors. So anywhere between 70 to 80 transactions. And the overall goal is to get to 25 million a year.
You got to hit 81 units because Dave Thomas hit 80. That's
81.
the record. So nice. Good, man. Dude, I'm so happy to have you. I'm excited to grow with you and kick ass, and we'll see what 2024 brings.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Cool.